Greetings, Culturians, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we need to talk about the situation with the Nancy Guthrie kidnapping. What's going on with Savannah, her sisters, and of course, their family members. And what is really creepy about what has gone on in the past is now maybe causing some speculation around what's actually happening now. Not sure what I'm talking about? Well, stick around because there's a game of kidnapping afoot, and it was a game when they were younger. Here we go. Strange revelations indeed, and these have been brought to light once again, and in a story today that was published over on Moto Electro, they follow down the same path that Megyn Kelly has been following. Cousin Terry and the childhood kidnapping game that resurfaced amid Nancy Guthrie's abduction case. Yeah, you read that right. You heard it right. There was a game that was played when they were very young where a cousin would kidnap the two young siblings, in other words, Savannah and her sister, and basically take them away to a Phoenix location where they called home, that their mother would eventually recover them a few days later. This is awfully eerie, awfully strange, and maybe gives some new leads in the case, which again is maybe going to be taken over by another law enforcement agency. As investigators continue searching for the 84-year-old Nancy Guthrie in Tucson, an unexpected family memory has resurfaced online, drawing attention for reasons that appear more social media driven than investigative. Nancy Guthrie, the mother of NBC Today anchor Savannah Guthrie, was reported missing under circumstances authorities have described as suspicious and likely criminal. Amid growing public interest, a family anecdote from Savannah's 2024 memoir has re-entered the spotlight. The childhood story that sparked the online discussion was in her book, Mostly What God Does. Savannah Guthrie shared fond memories of growing up in Arizona, including playful summers spent with her cousin Terry. One story described a game that the cousins played when they were young, a pretend kidnapping scenario. According to Savannah's account, cousin Terry would wake her and her sister in the early morning hours, bundle them into her station wagon, and begin a mock escape. The children would then call their mom from a payphone, announcing jokingly they had been kidnapped. This sounds oddly familiar. And at the same time, I just would like to recall that Nancy Guthrie was certainly bleeding when she left her home, wherever she is now, probably from a head wound because of the volume of blood and because of the height from which the blood was falling. So let's just, not jump to conclusions that normally I would love to jump to. Nancy Guthrie would play along, responding theatrically before retrieving them. The memory was told as a lighthearted reflection of childhood imagination and not as anything sinister. But in light of Nancy Guthrie's real-world disappearance, some online commentators have labeled the anecdote as eerie or predictive. I would say prescient, if you want to add a fancy adjective there. But despite the lack of evidence linking it to the ongoing investigation, authorities have confirmed several things in the case. Law enforcement agencies have clarified that Nancy Guthrie's disappearance is being investigated as a potential abduction. No kidding. Reports indicate that the blood found at her residence matched her DNA profile, and the doorbell camera footage captured a masked individual tampering with surveillance equipment near the time when she was last seen. The Pima County Sheriff's Department, alongside federal authorities, continued to analyze forensic evidence and tips. A substantial reward is reportedly being announced for information into her whereabouts. And this, of course, rolls in the whole TMZ conversation and how did they end up being so caught up in what I would think was just a abduction plot. The fact that TMZ was dragged into this is highly suspect to me. There's a lot of other things going on here, and we won't get too deeply into them, but I will just say that there is some involvement from Savannah Guthrie's husband, at least her husband's company, in the ongoing revelations coming from the island boy, Jeffrey, Guthrie's email collection. And those files are revelatory and are exposing more and more people and companies that were invested in the financier's endeavors. And none of that looks very good. Megyn Kelly is exposing the Eerie confession the Daystar wrote about the kidnapping game 2 years before her mother's disappearance. And if you watch this particular video, you get all caught up. Now, mind you, it's worth mentioning that Megyn Kelly is an attorney. So she claims to have a little bit extra knowledge since she has seen this type of thing before. And the resurfaced entire quote from Savannah Guthrie's 2024 book amid the ongoing investigation in the Today Show host's missing mother, Nancy Guthrie, is, I don't know, maybe even key pieces of evidence. This claim showed up on Tuesday, February 17, in an episode of The Megyn Kelly Show, as the podcaster exposed Savannah's interesting confession, which I have already read to you. Worse yet, the FBI is seeking to take over from Pima County. They are accusing the Pima County Sheriff of letting ego get in the way of investigation. This is a nice way to say that the FBI wants to take over because this country bumpkin, who's politically compromised, is likely not what's best for Nancy's health, or perhaps even her survival. In the story from the Post-Millennial, Pima County Sheriff Chris Nanos has been accused by critics of turning the hunt for Nancy Guthrie into something of an ego trip, as the FBI has been desperately trying to take over the case. Now, the FBI is not able to take over the investigation unless the Guthrie family specifically asks for it, but the criticism of Nanos has come as the Pima County Police have made a number of missteps while trying to hunt down Guthrie.
Many of my colleagues in law enforcement here had some concerns with the way the sheriff was managing this, and especially his communication, or very poor communication, to the public, making statements that were, well, quite frankly, just awful and incorrect, and taking actions that were incorrect as well. So a number of us decided we needed to say something about it because we did not want it to reflect on our community and the Sheriff's Department, which has been an extraordinary law enforcement agency that I worked with for 3 decades and had a national reputation. But this aberrancy hopefully will go away, and we'll get back to doing what we're supposed to do.
The 84-year-old mother of Today's Show host Savannah Guthrie. Now, mind you, we are now 19 days into this particular crime, this kidnapping, and yet there have not been many leads to speak of, aside from a now Ozark Trail backpack available in bulk at any Walmart, and of course some very grainy pictures from a security camera that for some reason was able to record this without actually having an account. I find that in and of itself highly suspect, and it confirms for me that these recording devices are always enabled. In fact, it was almost actually confirmed by the folks over at Ring when they could say that they could track down your dog. Well, how convenient that in the Super Bowl it was revealed that these things were available, and according to the footage, they even work on Nest as well. Anyway, the mistakes include leaving Guthrie's house unguarded for hours after the crime, as well as an investigation that has yielded little results over 2 weeks. There have been no clear suspects or strong leads in the case, which is surprising considering the evidence that has been located and analyzed and assessed, and of course the lack of identification of a masked person that should have been relatively easy for the FBI days and days ago. From what grainy footage we've seen, they have all kinds of tools that could have given us some kind of idea, and the lack of a list of suspect is suspect to me. Multiple law enforcement sources have said that the FBI is looking to take over the case, according to the New York Post. It is a common belief in this agency that this case has become an ego case for Sheriff Nanos. Sergeant Aaron Cross, president of Pima County Deputies Organization, said, "From the start of the investigation into Guthrie's disappearance, Nanos has been the top Arizona cop leading the case, appearing for interviews, taking center stage for briefings, and has been the go-to source of information on the case." And yet we have no answers, and I'm not sure we'll get any anytime soon. Would things improve? Would speed improve if the FBI took over? Perhaps, but maybe not. What's more interesting is obviously the childhood game that is being referenced more and more frequently and how it compares to what this disappearance sort of looks like. For now, all we have is the opportunity to speculate, and that's kind of what I'm doing here. So let me know in the comments section below. Do you think there is any ties between this old childhood game and what actually happened in real time recently on February 1st? Do you believe that it's quite possible that there's more information out there that is being withheld that could help identify who the perpetrators of this crime were? Do you suspect, like I do, that there's some kind of family ties to what has transpired here, specifically within Savannah Guthrie's own family? And finally, did you find it surprising the capabilities of not just Nest cameras, but Ring cameras being revealed to be in operation, whether you have a subscription or not? Let me know your thoughts on this and anything else down in the comments section below. And as always, be sure to take care of yourself, take care of others, and until next time, don't play kidnapping games.